good afternoon, student. 9th Standard Social Science, History Unit 5, The Classical World, Lesson Continuation. Children, so far we discussed about the Greece, the Hellenic world, Greek victory over Persians, second attack, democracy in Hellenic Greece, Athenian democracy, Persius, Socrates, beginning of Hellenistic civilization. Now you see Rome, the Hellenistic world. Rome, the Hellenistic world. During the Hellenistic period, Greek culture, influence, and power reached the peak of its geographical expansion, being dominant in the Mediterranean world, that is, modern Gulf countries like Iran, Iraq, etc., and most of the West and Central Asia, even in part of the Indian subcontinent, experiencing prosperity and progress in the art, astrology, exploration, literature, and science. The Hellenistic period spanned the period of Mediterranean history between the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC and the emergence of the Roman Empire. A Roman Republic. Once free, the Roman established a republic, a government in which citizens elected representatives to rule on their behalf. A republic is quite different from a democracy, in which every citizen is expected to play an active role in governing the state. The Roman peoples were divided into two classes, Patricians and Plebeians. Patricians were the ruling class of the early Roman empires. The Patricians were only a small percentage of Roman population, but they held all the power. Rightly we call rich landlords. Plebeians, all the other citizens of Romans were plebeians. Plebeians were the farmer, craftsmen, laborers, and soldiers of Rome. Rome developed into a prosperous town during this period. Class war between Patricians and plebeians. Prisoner of war were enslaved in Rome. Thus, Rome produced a new labor force for the rich to exploit. Big landlords bought slaves cheaply and used them to cultivate their estate. Many poor peasants had to lose their children, who also ended up in the slave market. The conflict between Plebeians and Patricians became bloodier. Tiberius Gracchus and Gaius Gracchus, the two brothers. The two brothers voiced their opinion in favor of the poor peasant. They were to support the poor peasant. As a peasant also support the two brothers. Gracchus brothers played a decisive role in the transformation of Roman Republic into Roman Empire. Transfer of power from consul to emperor. Consul It means the group of officials to rule the country. When Marius became the consul with the support of Eucrates. Eucrates is a rich people. The new landlords are new rich peoples. He made an attempt to push through a land distribution bill in the Senate. Senate means like parliament. This led to violence. This resulted in the civil war between the follower of Mauritius and Sulla's. Both were killed and succeeded by Cinna and Catilina. Established Principate. The Principate is the name sometime given to the first period of the Roman Empire. From the beginning of the reign of Augustus in 27 BC to end of the crisis of the 3rd century in 284 AD. The civil war over social issue aimed only to the replaced by the civil war between among the generals in Rome. Generals like Mauritius and Cinna against Sulla, Pompey against Julius Caesar, Mark Antony and Octavian Caesars, and again Octavians against Mark Antony. Finally, Augustus to establish the monarchy was the only way to re-establish political stability. Augustus called himself emperor. Society under Principate. During the period of Principate, the imperial ruling class became far more prosperous than under the Republic. The period witnessed a great influx of luxury goods such as silk, spices, and gems from the East. Cities were built on the grand scale: the temple, theatre, stadia, colosseum, gymnasia, etc. The most distinguished writer of this Augustus age brought to the glory to the empire. Writers like Pliny the Elder. He composed the volume of Encyclopedia of Science. He called it a natural history. And then Seneca, and then Horatia and Livy. The few enlightened, capable rulers of that period: Trajan, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius. External invasion and the decline of the Western Roman Empire. The empire facing threat from barbarian invasions. In AD 330, the center of the empire moved from Italy to the Greek-speaking city Byzantium. That is, the Western Roman Empire moved to Byzantium. But it was difficult to rule the western part from such a distance. The final attack came from Vandalas. They are also barbarians. They removed by the rule of the Emperor Romulus Augustus This marked the end of Western Roman Empire. The Vandalas not like to rule the Augustus emperors in the Rome. The Roman army revolted and deposed him. The end of the Western Roman Empire. Emperor building in the East Asia, China. Fall of Qin dynasty. Wang Chong, popularly known as Shi Hongti, this meaning first emperor, and he put an end warring the state in China. He crushed all local rulers and established strong central power or new emperor. This the collapse of Qin dynasty in China. Han dynasty and the expansion of Chinese territory. Han dynasty 206 BC and 220 AD, followed by Liu Pang. This dynasty ruled nearly 400 years. Their capital was Chang'an. The most popular and powerful ruler was Yu-Ti. The Han emperors once again threw open the Silk Road for trade. A large export trade, mainly in silk, reached as far as the Roman Empire. In the north, artisans and herders of rival the barbarian dynasty. Once again, they were adapted a new technique of building bridge and mountain roads and seafaring. Such an innovation made the Han Empire prosperous. Buddhism came to China from India during the reign of Han dynasty. Buddhism came the influence of Indian art to China. Some of the Buddhist art of this time show impact of Hellenistic style. That is a new Hellenistic style. The Han Empire found it extremely difficult to control the big land owners, that is the feudal lords. People to give up their home and farm and fell from the Yangtze region and beyond. The period after the Han ruled witnessed political instability across the country. Rise of Christianity. After a brief period of glory in the day of David and Solomon, David and his son Solomon, they ruled Israel. Jewish, the people of Israel, they were spread all over the Roman Empire. The Jewish people had a great fall and experienced extreme hardship. They hoped that Messiah would arrive to restore their old glory. Messiah, nothing but Jesus. This was not to be the liking of the priest. Already they were in Rome. They turned against Jesus and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, because Jesus never he against the rich and condemned certain ceremonials, that is religious activities or religious ceremonial. So this not like the local priest. So they were to hand over to the Roman governor, and Jesus was tried and crucified. After Jesus' crucifixion, St. Paul started spreading the Christian doctrines. Paul succeeded in his effort. The Christianity gradually spread. Romans were prepared to tolerate Christianity. The Roman Empire did not succeed in suppressing Christianity. One of the Roman emperor, Constantine, himself became a Christian. Christianity thus became the official religion of Roman Empire. Byzantium. The Byzantium Empire, also referred to as the Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantian, was the continuation of the Roman Empire. Its capital city was Constantinople. They ruled about 1,000 years. They were called Romans. Their language was Greek. The splendor of Constantinople, with the luxurious royal palace, its libraries, its scholars familiar with writing of Greeks and Romans, and its fascinating St. SOPHIA Cathedral are the legacy they have to left behind. The fundamental weakness of Byzantium civilization stood exposed them when the participant of the Crusade War. This led to empire finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. St. SOPHIA Cathedral. St. SOPHIA Cathedral was built in mid-6th century AD, the most magnificent building in Europe. At that time, it was known for its innovative architectural technique. This cathedral was turned into a mosque by Ottoman Turks later when they captured Constantinople 1453. India during the classical period. During that period in India, the Kushanas were ruled. The Kushanas period corresponded with the last day of the Roman Republic, when Julius Caesar was alive. The Kushana Empire is said to have sent an embassy to Augustus Caesar, who succeeded Julius. The corresponding period of 4th and 5th century AD in South India, characterized as a Calabras period. Teakwood, pepper, pearls, ivory, and precious stones and like were exported from the Malabar coast, that is Kerala coast, to Babylonia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. Trade with Rome further flourished. 18 major work of Sangam age is 8 anthologies or 8 தொகை 10 பாட்டு compiled during this first 3 century of common era were composed during this period. Sangam literature hailed as first secular literature of India. The Western and Eastern Roman Empire. See the map. Recap. Students, so far we discussed about the Greek fought patriotically and repulsed the invasion of Persians. Athens rejected monarchy and oligarchy and opted for democracy. During the reign of Persians, Athens was in higher plane of civilization. By the late 6th century BC, Rome became prosperous and developed into a republic. Roman carried on their civilization in the east with Constantinople as capital, Byzantine civilization. Christianity became state religion of Byzantium. Thank you, student. Please follow the assignment given in the PDF. Please complete the classwork. So far we complete the lesson in history, geography, civics and economics.